You gotta give it a crack. You gotta start. You gotta do. Most of the time, fear of failure stop you doing things, right? So it's your mindset. So if you can build something bigger, think big, then you achieve what you want to achieve. Purpose is the key. Why you do what you do every day. Creating that culture, people actually can do more as long as you don't really care about who gets the credit or where it's go. We've been working with a number of charities. It's a reminder for businesses, a reminder for individuals to think. You can keep blaming what's not right in the world, or you can do what you can do. I think that's the lesson that we learn, and that's what we've been doing as a business as well.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. I just have a favor to ask before we begin. If you've been enjoying these conversations and want more stories that redefine success, please do us a massive favor and hit the subscribe button over on our YouTube channel. It literally takes 2 seconds to do and is completely free. It's a small gesture, but it makes a massive difference for us as it really helps us to grow the show. And with that, let's get into the episode. All right, welcome back to the Quest for Success podcast, and thanks so much for tuning in once again. Today on the show, I'm looking forward to this one because, as with many of our previous episodes, when you have a deep discussion like this, you get to learn so much more about someone. And I love having these discussions with people that we know, and that's who we have on the show today. We have a close friend, Mangala Siriwardhane, who is currently the CEO of Be Dynamic Logistics, business partners with Jam. Someone who I've known for a long time, someone who I have a lot of respect for. So really looking forward to diving into your story today.
Yeah, this is a long overdue discussion. And many people actually ask, how come Mel is not on the hot seat and having this discussion? And it took us 89 episodes. This is our 90th episode. And Mel, welcome on board. Nice to have you here. And it's a little bit strange because we normally sit down and talk about strategies and what's the plan for our business. But this is a little bit different. And thanks for joining us.
Now, great to be here. Thank you, Dylan. Thanks, Jam. I think, it's going to be, in a way, it's a different one because both of you know quite well. And yeah, let's take it away. And first of all, congratulations on the this podcast, and it's been there for a while and doing great. So
thanks,
well done.
Kind words. So, as an avid listener yourself, you'll know the first question we need to ask to really set the tone is, what does success actually mean to you?
Okay. I don't know if I had this conversation with you in the past. So I think it's evolved. If you asked me that question 40 years ago, my answer would be more, having a certain type of a job, lifestyle milestones, the cars, the houses, all these material things, right? So important stuff as well. But now when I look at success, it's more the happiness, and to sum it up, I would say internal peace.
Yeah.
Probably the best way to describe it is success to me. If I'm happy, now the next step is how can I make people who are around me happy?
Yeah.
That's success. That's how I see.
And you mentioned internal peace. What is it right now that brings you internal peace?
Less worries. Less worries. I think life goes on. There are many things you can do, but when you focus on certain things, you do that well, and you do that happy. You're motivated. You're passionate. That gives you. You come out of the bed every morning to do what you love. Because we gotta continually ask that question of what you do, why you do it. Every day of the month. So So I think internal peace is less worrying. You keep doing what you love doing.
Yeah, you're in a probably a wrong industry, right? It's one of the most complex industry, supply chain, and having that peace of mind, probably not everyday thing.
I think that keeps you head above water.
Yeah,
Very competitive, very demanding, very complex industry that we're in, and you're looking at problems, questions. That's what we do day in, day out, right? If you're stressed, if you're panicking, you're not gonna get best out of you any given day, right? So I think when we look at what we do, it's solving problems every single day, whether it's internal or external, or our customer problems or supply chain challenges, etc. We are continually looking at problems.
Yeah,
that's way of life, and that's how it is. So you got to do that happily. You do that with passion.
Yeah. And Mel, as we mentioned, I've known you for a long time, but I really want to understand your early life, which I feel like is something that I actually have no idea about. So can you take us through, your childhood, and especially how you think your parents shaped who you become?
Yeah, interesting looking back. Both my parents were teachers. So being Sri Lankan teachers, so they have a way of shaping kids.
Yeah.
So no difference in our household either. So, okay, you got to study well, you got to do certain things and all that, right?
Yeah.
However, teachers moved to different places. So I ended up with my grandparents for a period of time, few years, going to school. And my parents realized, okay, my brother, so I have two brothers. So they were living with my parents. I was with my grandparents. At one stage, I moved to a boarding school. It's a Catholic school, and for year 8 onwards.
Yeah.
So that's where I've been. That was one of the turning points in my life. And obviously, I had a lot of opportunities in there to, be part of Army cadetting platoon. That actually one of the turning points, and I loved it. So the people, you're going to camps with, and training and all that. At the same time, I had a passion for kung fu, so I started studying kung fu for a few years.
Something I don't know, but better be careful.
Right? Yeah, that's it. So those things, I thought early childhood gave a bit of a discipline, bit of a consistency. And Bruce Lee was the god at the time, right? So every kid, growing up, looking at, okay, how this particular person's doing these amazing things, right? So when you really look at it, discipline and consistency.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. And later, late 80s, 88, 89, back in Sri Lanka, as you know, there was a youth unrest. During that period, actually, was another turning point in my life. So some of the people that I knew, dear friends, were either gone missing or were killed.
Wow.
Some of the known people and all that. So all of a sudden, as a young child, you start thinking, what's the purpose of life?
Yeah.
Right? So, however, at the same time, that gave me personally a lot of energy to do more what you do.
Yeah.
So then I moved to Colombo, start working, and part of studies as well. So that's how life continues from there. So I ended up joining a non-profit organization back in Sri Lanka. It's a foreign-funded organization that actually I'm grateful for. A lot of people I met there, learned quite a lot. And early age, I mean, this is when I was very young, straight out of school sort of time. We worked with a lot of, government staff, a lot of organizations, and quite a lot of mature people throughout the country. So gave us a lot of training, lot of exposure to work with whole different caliber people. So I'm grateful for that, and obviously that shaped me to a person where I wanted to do a lot of things in life and focus on things, achieve things, and sort of discipline.
Yeah, you were the eldest in your family, Mangala, right?
Second,
Oh, you were the second. So you had elder brother and you had the
and a
younger
younger
brother.
brother.
Okay, and if you don't mind talking about like your dad passed away when you're quite young, right?
Correct. So my dad passed away when I was straight out of HSC.
All right.
So dad passed away pretty early stage,
Unexpectedly.
unexpected. And then three of us been studying. So my elder brother was at the uni, so he was studying. I was studying and working. My younger brother was studying at the time, and then he finished his studies. And so now we're looking back. So mother was pretty much taking care of all of us.
Yeah.
You know, she was working as a teacher at the same time supporting us for studies and all the rest. But we were in different places doing what we were doing at the time. But eventually we moved out of where we were born and moved to Colombo. And that's where we were studying and staying.
And in hindsight, looking back on it, what do you think are like the core values that you like grew up surrounded by?
I think, Dylan, looking back, one thing that my father told me, I mean, like a lot of other people, you know, looking up to your father figures, right? So my father always used to tell us, in particular, I remember he was telling me, doing a job or working in a company or somewhere is given.
Yeah.
It's like default,
Yeah.
right? But if you can create jobs, that's next level, right? So that kind of thing stuck
Okay.
in my head, right? So I never asked any questions, right? So he says,
What
you know,
did you like a father teaching?
he was pretty much saying, okay, go and work for somebody.
Yeah.
Everyone has to do, anybody can do.
Yeah.
But creating something
Yeah.
that people come and work for, whether it's a business, whether it's, you know, whatever it could be, it's something you're not just surviving yourself, you know, it's not just a survival.
Yeah.
You're doing something for others as well. So those sort of things actually given some level of core at the beginning, you know, okay, you just go and work for somebody, you know, you look at how to survive in your life. That wasn't the only thing. You can do more, right? But when I started working with this NGO, gave me quite a lot of purpose and value. You know, we've done quite a lot of drug prevention work, HIV/AIDS prevention work, savings projects, and you know the most marginalized youth programs in plantation sector, that sort of areas where underprivileged kids, they're not sure what they're going to do. They, you know, live by the day.
Yeah.
So opening up their eyes for, okay, there's a world around you and beyond what you can see right at your state level. You know, that sort of thing stuck with me from childhood, pretty much. Okay, you can do better than just for your own survival. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so that's kind of the core that I
Almost like a service mentality.
correct. That's correct. Yes, yes. How to? I mean, again, you know, I'm asking myself every day, are we doing enough? I mean, for us, it's okay. Individual, for you as an individual and for your family, that's enough what you do. But you can do more. You know, there are a lot of other people probably, you know, starving or dying, you know, so you know, lots going on.
Yeah.
So you can do more. When you can do more, you should do more.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so that gives me energy to get up every morning, go and do what I do.
Excellent. Hey, any reason that from your brothers, you're the one sent into boarding school. Like, others stayed, like, I mean, you're the middle child. Maybe you didn't behave very well.
That
What
that's
was the
probably
main reason?
that's probably the underlying reason. No, I think my elder brother was at my uncle's place.
All right.
He was studying from because parents look at, okay, what's the best way to get
Yeah,
the
yeah.
kids the education.
Yeah.
So I was the next. St. Aloysius College. So the principal actually used to be my mother's headmaster
Okay.
at one time. So he suggested, okay, probably better for him to move to this school. So that's what happened. So that actually gave me a lot of, I was, individually learning things
Yeah.
myself, how to live by myself from very,
Independence, yeah.
very early stage, right? And gave me a lot of freedom as well.
Yeah.
But that gave me the energy, the backbone, and strength for you to get up as an individual from year 8 onwards. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. And I want to understand what it was that brought you to Australia.
Yeah. So at the time, so we were not 100% sure. So keep working on what we were doing at that point in time with the NGO. So there are moments where your excitement, if you can't keep up with that excitement, you can only do so much, right? And you kind of need that energy. So that's where we were thinking moving out of the country, and a lot of disappointments as well when you really look at what you can do. A lot of things sometimes when you see politically driven, not necessarily better for people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that sort of things when you look at, we thought, okay. Plus, we've seen a lot of opportunities outside of Sri Lanka as well. So that's kind of the main.
Especially when you have children, right? So you had your daughter and thought, well, thinking further for better opportunities for her as well.
That's right. And obviously now looking back, right, and the globe is so small when you think, right. So probably back in those days, it's probably a bit away from you.
Yeah.
But now it's you see things differently, right? So
Yeah.
And tell us about that early journey, like when you got to Australia. Were you still doing NGO work, or you fully left that? And
no, I've done some charity work very early stage, but very very quickly I realized either you got to be serious and do a bit more studies here to be go in that journey, non-profit side of things. Like many migrants coming to Australia or to another country, you start doing something. You
Just to
got to find
survive.
your living, right? So similarly, I started working and doing some cleaning work and whole range of things. Just keep going to pay your bills and find your living. At one stage, I started a small commercial cleaning business, and that was going and actually gave me again. I had energy at the time to obviously to grow this business, and thought, okay, I'm gonna grow this and start working. Long hours, late nights. Continually doing part of fun, right? And obviously, main goal is to find living.
yeah,
And how can you save some money, because you don't know, you gotta save money. You realize, okay, new way of life in a new country, right? So you're not gonna be young anymore, right? So you gotta raise a family and all that. So I was doing that for a couple of years, and one of my dear friends introduced me to logistic. It was unexpected,
By
sort
accident?
of by accident, and landed in a logistic company. It's a British logistic company, and had no idea. So I was looking at, okay, these forklifts are driving and all these huge warehouses and all that type of stuff. And actually excited me to learn about it a bit more, and stuck there. Starts, keep working. And I was working on my business on the side as well. So quite busy at that time. Enjoying though. Never complain, and keep working. And fast forward a few years, then one of the giant global logistic company came and bought that other company that we were working. That opens up huge opportunities globally as well, in particular in Australia. So where I was at the time, I thought, okay, I need to be serious about what I'm doing, and start more studying around supply chain management and contract logistics, and a lot of training, and a great organization, and obviously met a lot of great people, a lot of mentors, and gone through that journey. And every single day I was enjoying that. So I'm learning something new. I remember going to my boss saying, hey, I'm 50%, I got some time. I can manage this job with 50%. I need more. So I'm looking at, one step up. And it gave me the opportunity to learn more, exposed into a lot of, contractual sides and commercial sides and operational sides, and quite a lot. So it was a ground up journey, but it was a fascinating journey to learn about logistics. So that's where I landed in logistics.
That's amazing. Mangala, early days when you're doing NGO, obviously you learned so much, as you mentioned. Do you had any mentors and any lessons that you learned through that you apply in the logistics?
Yeah, definitely. So one key thing, if I think back now, so when you're in non-profit world, you need people to do things. Now, in a profit organization, you pay someone to go and do something, right? You still need motivation and all the rest. In non-profit, you got to motivate people to go and do certain things. Some people actually do work full time, and there's no financial benefits. So to keep motivating them, you got to have a very, very strong purpose. You're motivated by the purpose. So one of the things that we created in that organization is the culture. So that culture motivates everyone to be around. You're now getting paid. So there were few of us full-time employees of that organization. But majority, now we have to mobilize a lot of volunteers around the country. Not getting paid, but showing them the purpose, training them. So a lot of leadership training, a lot of content that take them through, motivates them, and actually creates opportunities for them as well. We've found, right now when I look at 30 odd years later, some of the very senior government positions held by certain people that came from, I still remember they were sitting in those training rooms and asking questions, and you pretty much have the eye contact, okay, he's going to be a great leader one day. And you can see that right in front of your eyes now. So I think purpose being a key when you look at profit organizations. Now what we do in our business, purpose is the key. Why you do what you do every day. So again, how we take that through the organization, pretty similar what we done that. And on the other hand, creating that culture, people actually can do more as long as you don't really care about who gets the credit or where it's go. So there's nothing stopping you achieve more and more. So that mindset. I think we are grateful for our team,
Yeah.
what we have, various, like-minded people that we work with. So, and you can imagine the energy that pumped through that, right? So,
So again, it's all about learning, right? Like, so when you're looking back, did you look up to someone that I know our normal conversation, you mentioned several people's, few names,
Yeah.
like, you look
Yeah.
up to and learn so much.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, you asked that question earlier. So, in terms of mentors, early days in that organization, uh, I was so lucky to be mentored by certain people like Professor Deenat Samarasinghe. So, I mean, again, he was in a way he created or he support creating a culture that everyone learned from each other. So he's kind of sailing this boat in the right direction. He's probably, you won't see him probably the front, but you will see his guiding. So one of the things he said, once I was going to a training, we were in the car, and he was saying, hey, he mentioned one of the prominent business person's name, and he says, his brain and your brain, no difference. So only difference is the way he thinks.
Yeah.
He thinks bigger.
Yeah.
We probably think smaller. So, which is so true,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
We are talking about now bigger picture. We are talking about purpose and what we can achieve beyond what we see. So, those sort of mentors, the early days, working with them along the side, day in, day out, definitely help shaping. I mean, quite a lot of people in that organization. Even to date, it's going strength to strength. And at that point in time, it's only limited number of people.
Yeah.
But lot of mentors. You actually got to work with in that organization.
And then, like, I suppose looking back to the cleaning business that you started, it was your kind of first taste of entrepreneurship. What do you think you took from that experience into, your logistics career and then now into BDL?
So prior to that, I'll actually connect this back into Sri Lanka. When we were working in that NGO, early days, early 90s, I think it was 91, 92. I started a business with another friend of mine, very small scale, supporting. So it's actually calcium sort of product coming from seashells.
Yeah.
So with another friend of mine connecting us, so that it's a distribution business. But halfway through, I realized we are doing this so reactively.
Yeah.
So funny enough, 93, I found out how to study a little bit more about entrepreneurship. At that point in time, Open University of Colombo, Sri Lanka, had a course called entrepreneurship.
All right.
So I thought, I want to learn about this. I spoke to a few people. It says, yeah, quite interesting, but I don't know many people actually doing it.
Yeah.
I said, I'll find out. So I went there, enrolled myself. I started doing that course, right?
Yeah.
So it actually, now looking back, I actually had some material recently I found. It's all about governance. It's all about bigger picture. It's all about how you focus on something to achieve that goal. So this was 93.
Wow.
So I had the identity, the uni ID. I looked at that. I thought, oh, okay, interesting. I want to see if I had some materials as well. So it's very interesting. And from that, then again, back in Australia, when I started this cleaning business, it was again individual business.
Yeah.
Right. So one thing I realized, yes, you got to do what you got to do for living and all that, right? So I felt like, okay, what am I doing here? Keep doing this. It's probably good money. You can find your comfortable living, no issues, right? However, I was looking for something different, right? So when I was working at the same time, logistic business, and I was thinking, okay, there has to be something different, right? So this is where I think I connected well with Jam at the point in time when I talked to him about the idea of third-party logistic, contract logistics, something quite large, something beyond what we can do immediately or what we can grab immediately.
Yeah.
First reaction, yeah, let's do it. So that was the missing piece, right? So I realized, okay, now we gotta do something bigger. And again, thinking back to what Dr. Denath said long time back, it's your mindset. So if you can build something bigger, think big, then you achieve what you want to achieve. Something rather you're only doing your own living.
Yeah.
So that's
And
how
on
it's
that
done.
point though, what did it take for you to come to that realization? Because obviously you heard that advice early on, and then you've started a few businesses since then, and they've all kind of progressively grown in scale. Is it something that you can learn, or does it have to be learned through like experience?
I think I'm just thinking out loud now. So it's probably you back yourself up, right? Based on your experience, your strengths, and all that. We all have blind spots, right? So if we are aware of our blind spots, but then you have your strengths where you know, okay, you back yourself up. So when I'm leaving that logistic organization, you're setting up a business, early days, you could fail, but you got to back yourself up, right? And we're not backing ourselves up only for a small business that for only few of us to survive.
Yeah.
This is bigger than that. So I think the realization is probably comes, when you back yourself up, that fear goes away. And obviously, you know what you're doing in terms of, getting right people into the organization, and you're confident to achieve your vision.
And did the self-belief come because you had the industry backing? Like you ended up spending what, almost 20 years
Close to.
Yeah.
Close to it. That's definitely one of the key things. Other things I would say, the network. So when you keep working, all of us as individuals, you can see, okay, what's your strength? Okay, relationships, networks, and how you can support others. You pretty much see, okay, if people start trusting you, you don't have to worry about anything else. So you gotta deliver what you say, and that builds that trust, right? So most of the time when I look at the industry knowledge, the network, the customer portfolio. I mean, some of the customers even I used to work with back in the logistic business. Yeah, it used to be. So some of the customers were saying, "Hey, your customer service mentality is probably," because I asked, "Okay, give me some feedback." So that gave me the confidence to build something back of that. Now, then you realize there are many people like that.
Yeah.
That's where you amplify the strength.
Yeah. Do you think that you develop that empathy to listen to customer, talk to customer, and really understand their problem from when you're doing like NGO, like your nonprofit?
I would say so. I would say so because again, listening is something I believe we got to practice.
It's a rare thing, right?
We got to practice, right? Otherwise, we keep talking, right? So, a lot to communicate. But when you start listening, it's such a great thing. You're opening up, and your brain works differently as well. So definitely, I mean, we used to listen to a lot of people. I mean, understanding from grassroots all the way, the way of living, the problems, or what they do day to day, and all these things before even we talk about other stuff like soft skills, etc. So I think going back to the profit organizations, very similar. When you go to our internal meetings or external meetings, listening to any of these people gives you the energy, at the same time clarity.
Yeah.
That
Listening,
reconfirm.
listening to understand, not to respond. So
Correct.
that's a
Correct.
really important thing.
That's
right?
it, exactly.
And as I mentioned before, you spent over 20 years or close to 20 years in the logistics industry before starting BDL, and you kind of worked your way up through that hierarchy. I want to know, what was, some of your key takeaways from leading big teams at those organizations?
I think being authentic. So I always connect with people in a. I mean, it's a natural thing. However, as long as you're very clear with your vision and your strategy, that's all matters. How I seen. So right now in our organization, everyone like to be led. Everyone need to be led. So it's important that everyone see the structure, the governance, and goals, and achievements, milestones, all these things, right? In business world. However, non-profit or profit organization, what I've seen is still the same thing. You're pretty much having the right structure. You keep providing the support needed. I mean, we manage people or we lead people, and end of the day, that process goes all the way, and we achieve those outcomes, right? So definitely that gave me the experience of managing teams from non-profit organizations, and then to profit organizations, and obviously continue, right? So
Obviously, there was some great learnings, working for DHL, a massive global company. But I want to understand what it was that you realized, or you realized there was an opportunity to start BDL. What was going through your mind thinking, what's not working here?
yeah, so working with large organizations, definitely one thing that I realize, I think again, this is the moment of realization sometimes, right? It's like Titanic.
Yeah.
Takes time to move.
Yeah.
That is how it is, right? But the market is so dynamic. Things are changing so fast. We've seen customers are looking for flexibility. Customers are looking for agility, scalability. Most importantly, they're looking for real, true, authentic relationships, deep-rooted relationships. That's my biggest learning. And in that organization, I was obviously, we as individuals doing things for those customers, but I've seen there's a market definitely to service those customers in a different way. So that's probably the main thing. Obviously, when we look at 2016, mid 2016, 2017 type of time frame, obviously a lot of international businesses come into Australia as well. When I look at, starting up a business, always, Jam had a lot of experience starting startup businesses and scaling them. So I know there are businesses fail. Australia the same, the US the same. What's the worst thing could happen? We had number of conversations. When we look at only few of us, very easy. If business doesn't work, either start another business or find a job or whatever the case might be, life goes on. Later on, it's different. Then you have more people relying on the business. So it's not just few of us trying to make living or anything like that, right? So it's an organization. It's a shaping to a more governed business. Obviously, now you have more people
Yeah.
who are relying on this and families relying on this. Now that gives you again energy for you to do more, and like our team always do.
Yeah. So I was going to ask this question, but you already gave the answer, right? So I was going to ask, why did you decided, hey, let's do this business together? I mean, I would say yes to anything anyway, right? So it's I mean, more than that, where I saw someone with very high energy and really believe in what he was doing for the company that he works for, then he saw opportunity that there's a gap in that market, right? So this is when I see, hey, there's a great synergies. We can do this together, because in a way, I was at that time doing the fulfillment for loyalty programs, and I needed to have warehouse, and I wasn't sure even what I was doing right. And then you came and helped me time to time,
Yep.
and we thought this is definitely gonna work. And then you put this seed, say, yeah, this third party logistics. I say, what's that?
What's that? What's that?
And
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So from my side, I mean, it's important to know for you. I saw there's a lot of energy, a lot of positivity, and and knowledge, of course, that I didn't have. I realized, we can together we can scale something, and that's where we are today,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. And
Complementary.
yeah, compliment on each other's skills, the knowledge, and what we learn. And I think most important part, even for the previous question, knowing who can be in this business, right? So this can be very sensitive topic.
Yeah.
When I was leaving that organization, there were a number of people. I mean, I said to my close colleagues, okay, this is what I'm planning to do, and all that type of stuff. And I had a list of people. Okay, if there's a business, these are the caliber of people that we need, right? And these people, very important. I mean, Jam, now, or Dylan, you as well. Now, if you put that little fish into a tank, small tank, it can only grow that much, right?
Yeah.
It is the same analogy. So, given these people a job, they will do that job perfectly, no issues. That's what happened in most of the large organizations.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I realized myself. And giving them the platform, giving them the freedom, empower them to do, and we agree on the vision and the strategy. That's all you need, right? And looking at that, it's amazing how you see how people flourish from there,
Yeah.
and take that to next level.
I'm curious because obviously I know you've handpicked the A players, which has made BDL into what it is today. I'm curious to you, what defines an A player?
I think number one thing is the attitude. Now, skills and all the rest we've seen, coming with people, up or down or whatever the case might be, and aligning to the vision, right? And gets that vision and the quick learner. We can have people learning over 2 years, but we can have people actually learning in 2 months.
Yeah.
Right, and in a complex situation. So a player, to me, is the person who's actually energetic, got the positive attitude, and wanna achieve excellence, right? And always look to do things better,
Yeah.
to innovate. So those players. I mean, we've been grateful to have that, handpicked or naturally attracted those caliber people into our business. So again, a lot of credit to our team. Creating that culture attracts, that sort of caliber people. So
Yeah. And you mentioned before about BDL was really the first time where you had a really big vision. You were pushing yourself and the ambition was really big. And you had to sell this vision to these A players. What was this big vision in the early stages of BDL? What was the vision you had?
So the number one thing, every individual that join our organization, the business that we have, go and work for a large international corporation, no issues, having the life they want. Versus you want to do something large, right? You want to do something impactful. You want to do something together, having fun. You as long as you're not dragging out of bed to come to work, you do that with flexibility, you do that with fun, you do that with happiness as a group. That's pretty much the vision. So if you look at from outside, it's another business. It's another business moves boxes logistically, right? Yeah. So what's the difference here? So I think the culture piece being the larger part. Now, number of conversations that we had with our people, key people, prior they joining us. When we realized they're interested joining our business, one thing we both said to them, what's the worst thing could happen? We always look at, okay, what's the worst thing? I mean, some of them been in those established businesses
20, 30 years.
20, 30 years. Now, they're leaving that business to join our business. And we were saying, hey, what's the worst thing could happen? We may not have a business tomorrow. But are we backing ourselves up to, life will move on, right? Are we all in it together to create the next one? Or, that confidence, that trust, right? So some of them obviously knew me for a long time, didn't know Jam, or vice versa. Some of the key people that Jam knew for a long time, I didn't. So we worked together fairly quickly, realized, okay, we are pretty much fully aligned to the vision, fully aligned to the strategy. If there are misalignment, we're making sure that we all align and move forward.
Also, I think they saw our excitement, right? Like us when we are pitching to those guys, right? Our key people. And now the people actually running the business, and they saw the excitement, right? They saw us believe in something that really creates a whole, like a future. Like they can see they can fit into that vision, right? So in a way, right? Like that's also attract those individuals.
I think so. And even for customers, and it's a common goal.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that, we look after our customers and you keep learning. There are things that you have to be, you have to have your lid open to take in, right? So, so far we've seen everyone excites about this, learning part, the culture, and more like-minded people attracting to our business.
And the purpose as well, right?
Yeah.
Because we are going with the purpose. When you have a purpose, there's a reason why we're doing this. It makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned before, one of the key things was the trust that people had in you. And obviously it's been something that you have to develop over time. Is there any key lessons you have about building trust within relationships over the years of experience that you have?
I think, trust comes with, again, consistency. It's a relationship, how we dealt in that relationship 2 years ago versus now. As long as we are consistent, that trust automatically builds, right?
Yeah.
So over time. So I realized not only from my side, but when you look at from other person's side as well. Generally, as a person, trusting the other person by default.
Yeah.
So much easier, I realized, and I didn't know about that quality. And it's actually a conversation actually gave me a bit of a perspective. And so I started with trust. So trusting, I know this person is going to be very open, honest, nothing, right? As long as I keep that, then I know that person can change.
Yeah.
That person can change. But you always, when you always believe your behavior dictates other person's behavior, then you know that person, okay, doing something not right, not looking at that person. I'm trying to look at, okay, what didn't I do right for that person to behave like that? So that gets the trust going. And there's no special or additional effort needed, I've seen. How we operate ourselves in our business, when someone said something, as long as I don't have to ask clarity, I don't have to ask, what does that mean? Or you don't have to read between lines. You pretty much comes with that clarity. Then that's trust. That's trust. So if I ask somebody, what does that mean? Or if I have to go and clarify, there's a bit of a gap that we have to close. Otherwise, we have that
Lead with trust.
connection.
Yeah. And obviously, starting any organization, there's so many challenges along the way. But given your definition of success was largely around inner peace, how did you balance the kind of juxtaposition between those? Because
regardless of the size of the organization, the balance sheet or the profit organization, obviously the balance sheet is the most important thing.
Yeah.
If your balance sheet is not aligned, then you're in trouble, right? So the cash flows and ins and outs and all the rest, right? However, once it becomes a process, when you're 2, 3, 4, 5 people working in a business, very easy, back to front, much easier. Now, when the organization is bigger, when you have 200 plus people working, you have 100, plus 1,000 square meters of warehousing to operate, national business, so, quite a large customer portfolio, etc. All of a sudden, that individually trying to manage to a greater deal of things not going to work. So then that's where the systems and the governance comes into play. So we realize fairly quickly, empowering those key players to do what they're supposed to do. They keep going. Now, I've seen when it comes to managing finance, managing operations, managing technology innovations, managing people, that sort of area, how you keep the inner peace. It's not something you achieved, right? It's the goal.
Yeah.
It's the goal, right? So for me personally, I would say when I achieve inner peace for myself, happiness, and if I can see others are actually happy, doing what they're doing, that's success to me personally.
Yeah.
Right? And obviously, a lot of juggling.
Yeah.
Like any other business. Don't think a moment it's a smooth sailing, right? But at the same time, keeping the environment calm, keeping everybody happy, keeping everyone focused. I mean, that's the most important part. Now, doesn't matter, we can scale. We are scaling our business. However, we keeping the laser focus on each area. You can't take your eyes off. How can you keep inner peace while you're doing that is what we got to practice. I'm practicing myself. I'm asking everyone else to practice as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will become so hectic life.
Yeah, chaos.
And in a way, it's you don't feel like coming to work or doing what you're doing, right? So that's something that I'm trying to practice myself as well.
Yeah. This one, I'm not really sure how to ask it, but like right now, there's a huge push for entrepreneurship, everyone should become founders, and it's being definitely pushed on the younger generation as well. Your journey is a little bit different. Like, you went into corporate life, you worked for nearly 20 years, and then had your big entrepreneurial leap. I want to get your reflection on that now, looking back. Do you think that was valuable, that period where you went in, worked, learned processes, learned how big organizations ran before you started your own business? Or do you wish you had have started sooner, thought bigger sooner?
I don't have a regret on that. Being starting when I started, and obviously, I don't know whether there's a right or wrong way.
Yeah.
But for me, I thought it's actually really helpful going through that corporate world and learning processes, building on it, whether it's a 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Now, if I'm to coach somebody now, which I'm doing with someone, so you don't have to work, close to 20 years
Yeah.
to start your business. You know what I mean? When I'm starting the job, I wasn't, expecting, okay, after 20 years, I'm going to start a business or
sure.
anything like that, right? So those things happen in sequence, but it wasn't, Jem and I, when we talk, it's all written. Okay, what's next? You know what I mean? So it's fine. Whatever comes, we take that on and move on. But I think learning the processes, work under certain type of personalities, certain type of caliber leaders in different businesses is critical. I think it's very important. Whether it's a corporate business or having a personal mentor or a coach, is so important. So I think for me personally, gave me the confidence, trust, back myself up to go and do something bigger. That gave me the
I guess everyone's journey is different, right?
Correct.
I mean,
Yeah.
we can learn whether you're working for someone or doing your own thing, as long as you learn, right? If you're not wasting time just doing process work, you're not getting anything out of it, then that's a regret sort of thing, right? So as long as you spend 20 years learning, understanding the process, understanding how things done, and also understanding the mistakes they're doing, right? And do it in a way that's the reason that we saw opportunity to fill a gap in the industry, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's pretty much yeah.
And while you're doing whatever the job you do, we have different jobs we have to fill.
Yeah.
As long as you see the bigger picture, that's where the learning is. That's where the excitement is. Even for youngsters who wants to start new business, I'm talking to somebody at the moment. So he's going to do some process work while he's studying, right? Oh, uncle, this is, putting labels on some boxes. What am I going to learn?
Yeah.
Which is so true when you look at, it's a repetitive work. So I'm trying to teach him, okay, look at the bigger picture. Why you do that? What's the end product? You know what I mean? Look at that business, where it's coming from. Try to learn the bigger picture.
Yeah.
If you keep learning, okay, how to put the label on, make sure you put the label on correctly and efficiently. That's one thing. But a lot of things beyond that, right? So I think opening up to that is the key for anybody.
And I suppose looking back on your journey so far, what do you think are some of the, your top lessons or the advice that you would give to the next generation?
I would say you gotta give it a crack.
Yeah.
You gotta start. You gotta do. So most of the time, fear of failure stop you doing things, right? So this is where I think we can actually share our stories. If we were if anything to hold back is the fear of failure. So if you're happy to put your right foot on and go and start something, I think that's the key. You got to do it, and having that. I mean, initially when you really look at it, if you have to find your purpose, find all that type of stuff, they will shape up later. If you really want to find your living, that's fine, absolutely fine, right? So if you have a financial goal, absolutely fine. Just do it. I think getting started is the key. I mean, plenty of opportunities out there. I think it's just getting started is the key, and then consistency from there on. And most of the time, I mean, we see in ourselves as well. If we don't have discipline and consistency, you're asking for failure. So if we somehow build the discipline and consistency, you will get to the destination.
Yeah, but to add to that, Mel, like, you know, I mean, some of the things that we gone through this journey for last 9 years, you know, we didn't know exactly what would be the outcome, right? We just step in a dark, you know, let's take a risk and let's do this, right? I mean, that's really important part of as well. You know, you don't do everything to succeed. You know, it's okay even if you fail, as long as you learn from those mistakes and not to repeat those mistakes. You know, so
True. Yeah.
yeah, it's. I mean, we've done so many, right? Some of the things when you're looking back, my goodness, I can't believe how brave we were, right?
Yeah, I mean, some people talking to us about the journey. Some of the things they admire. Okay, what made you take this level of buildings and all that type of stuff, right? So, yes, there's a you know, level of risk involved. Always there's a level of liability that you're carrying.
Yeah.
You can't move away from that, right? So you're born to this world, you always have liabilities and risks, right? You can think about it and do nothing, or you can take it on the chin and do something. And all of a sudden you realize there are so many people out there to join your journey and force together and unstoppable. I think that's where the strength is. And I've seen, I mean, we've seen together how amplifies things so quick, so strong in a way that you never plan for. Certain things you never plan for. So it's a great thing, as long as you enjoy, as long as you don't see that as a burden, and you continue.
Yeah. This conversation is a lot about excitement. So I suppose going forward to the future, what's exciting you?
I think biggest thing personally for me is we want to make sure that we set our business for scale. Now we are scaling, so we got a number of things now in terms of investments perspective, technology and people, and some of the infrastructure, etc., etc. So that our focus is there. So the next is how we take this to the next level. So with that, from a personal perspective, and obviously we want to bring more people to do what we do, and making sure that scalability is there. We have strong teams built in multiple locations, and whether it's multiple states, multiple countries, and at the same time, I mean, even from day one, we've been working with a number of charities. So it's a reminder. It's a reminder for businesses, a reminder for individuals to think, okay, you can keep blaming, many things, what's not right in the world, or you can do what you can do. I think that's the lesson that we learn, and that's what we've been doing as a business as well. So personally for me, want to continue this journey in the profit organization. At the same time, I want to dedicate myself more and more into non-profit side of things, where I believe my core is. and
Giving
wanna,
back.
we wanna support where possible. So again, keep that balance going. Keep healthy, and that's what we wanna continue.
Absolutely. And looking back to when your dad gave you that advice of, rather than just doing something for yourself, go and build something which will employ other people. Now with BDL over 300 employees, do you ever think and reflect upon what he would be saying to you now?
He'll be very, very, very happy, obviously. So again, I think my dad had this thing. He wanted to do something beyond teaching, which he didn't have the opportunity.
yeah.
Obviously, passed away straight after retirement. So within the year, so he passed away. So he if he was here now, he would probably push me for another,
Next level,
next level. Okay, what about this? Well, that sort of purpose. Broadening the objectives, the goals that we've been working on. But he'd be very, very happy to see what we've been doing.
Have you ever imagined that when we starting logistics business, that we come to this stage? And I mean, this is only a beyond that. I know opportunities there, but what was your thinking? Like you thought like.
Yeah, definitely. So again, starting up a small logistic business again, you can keep servicing certain level of customers and all that is one thing. My interest and passion was to do something large, global, bigger. So again, we're only starting. When you look at the chapter now, up to now, we just still in Australia doing certain things,
Getting
but
the
our
foundation, right?
plans are a lot beyond that, right? So did I imagine all these things? Probably not in an order.
Yeah.
But in terms of, I think our picture wall says it all, right? So we can do more.
Yeah.
That's what I always believe. We can do more. We should do more.
Yeah.
Whether it's a financial gain or whether it's a non-profit, community impact. I think we can do more. We should do more. As long as we do the right thing.
Yeah.
I think that's the key, and that's what I think our core team is believing, and everyone wants to achieve. I mean, I often say our business growth, our business scale is not dependent on either myself or Jam anymore.
Yeah.
Who wants to work for a Sydney-based organization? Who wants to only work for an organization that only servicing Australian customers? Everyone wants to work for a larger business. Everyone wants to work for larger organizations and want to do a lot of new things, new innovations that people want to bring. That's our team.
Yeah.
So I think we already created that platform, and
Excitement.
where's this gonna take?
We
It's
don't know.
completely up to the team, and all I would say, watch the space, and obviously, it's
Exciting
getting strength with strength. I think it's an exciting journey.
Absolutely. And Mal, looking back on your journey, do you feel successful?
I'm happy with what I've been doing. Every single day, I'm grateful for the people I meet and grateful for what I have. I'm deeply grateful for those things. I feel I'm successful as an individual. Sometimes you when you have family, you have kids. Annalise now 19 years old, and she's going on her life journey. So there are a number of things you can be happy with, right? However, to sum up, the ultimate success to me, still inner peace, where you can rest no worries at all. Less attachments, or so I haven't achieved that. So that's my journey. I'm learning. I'm listening and talking to people. So eventually want to get there, and I want to get there faster if possible.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sounds like you're on the right path. And I just looked at the time. I can't believe it's been, we've flown through.
Such an easy discussion. We could easily go for another hour. Yeah.
But I wanted to kind of reflect on our discussion and try and pull out what I think are some of the core traits which have led to what I would say is quite a successful life. And the first one I think is you very much took opportunities throughout your journey. The opportunity to, work at NGO, opportunity to come to Australia, your friend accidentally introducing you into logistics, just taking opportunities and really grabbing them by the horns and going all in on them. Because I think, yes, they've been in different fields, but they've all taught you something along the way, which is now, you're constantly adding knowledge, which you then implement in your next phase of life. The second one is hungry to learn. And I think, that's shown in your early days at DHL saying, hey, I'm only at 50% capacity. I want to learn more. I want to do more. And I think having that hunger and appetite to always want to learn serves everyone that we've spoken to. Like it is one of the major factors that we're finding, because in learning all that knowledge, you have so much more to give at the next stage of life that you reach. The next one is definitely about building relationships. And, we spoke a lot about trust and leadership and how important it is to build strong relationships, because not only do they serve you now, but well into the future. As you mentioned, a lot of the customers and network that you have now with B Dynamic Logistics were from relationships you started many years ago. And then the last one, I think, goes back to your childhood and your upbringing, which is this service mentality, something obviously instilled in you by your father. But I think it's why you have grown as a person, grown those relationships, and grown the business that you've chosen to be in, is because of that service mentality. And it's definitely led you to where you are today.
Yeah. And add to that, been working with you, Mal, for last 10 years. I guess, I think one of the key success to be dynamic logistic business, we bring kind of a different skill sets, and also our character is different. I'm the more reactive guy, and you're the more calm, very focused, very structured guy, and really keep everyone calm and get the results done, right? So, and I can see that, and again, that your servicing mindset, like, your leadership is very, very much a servant leadership. Like, you lead from, not lead like in the front, in the back, developing people, grow them, and show them,
Their potential.
their potential to grow, and providing that, what they require to grow. And so that servant leadership, again, as Dylan mentioned, coming from your the background, your parents, given, servicing way, like that's what I see. I mean, that's where we work really well together, and I think our team probably agreed as well. And yeah, so it's a great conversation, and I'm glad that we had this opportunity to sit down. I think we learned a lot about you,
Definitely.
and something that I didn't know. I mean, even I know for you probably last 20 years. And so it's awesome to have this chat.
Thanks for sitting down with us.
Thank you for the kind words. I think you nicely sum up everything, Dylan. I think, Jam, what you mentioned, any partnership, any relationship can go pear-shaped very easily. There are many ways you can look at the relationship can go pear-shaped. Business partnerships can go pear-shaped very easily. I think keeping that to a side, keep growing, that's the vision, that's the purpose. Everything else is not relevant really.
Yeah.
It'll fit into the right place,
Yeah.
when it's needed. No, thank you for the opportunity. I think it's a great, and just about the business, we can have another podcast
absolutely.
about the business together.
That's
right?
it. Maybe people have to wait for the book. Economic story.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's it.
Maybe one day.
One day. That's it. Nah, it's fun. Great.
Thanks so much,
Thank
Mal.
you.
And
Thank
for
you.
those who have taken something from today's episode, it would mean the world if you can like and subscribe to our channel. Helps us to grow the show and get to more and more ears. And you can see all of our episodes over on our website, thequestforsuccesspodcast.com. And with that, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.